Artlist.io. Music licensing.
All right. Welcome to Gen X Rated Thursday edition. We'll try another song and see how this goes till they take it down.
I know. Spotify keeps taking everything down.
don't get it.
I don't get it. It's supposed to be royalty-free music that they let you choose from, and yet you pick something. Oh, I'm sorry, we're going to shut you down in every country except Afghanistan. You can appeal if you want to. I don't get
Why
it.
bother? We'll just keep finding some funky hits to put up there and focus on independent artists, I guess. I don't know.
Well, as we get closer to the holiday season, is the dog barking jingle bells, is that royalty protected?
That has to be. Are you kidding me? That's pure gold.
It really is.
So, kind of big news the other night, Tuesday. We
Mhm.
after we were done, the election results started to come in that night. I think the biggest one, obviously, was the New York City mayor, depending on where you live. Mamdani with the big victory. I'd say overwhelming at what was his percentage? About 51%, I guess.
Yeah, in a three-person race. So yeah.
It's pretty good.
Mhm.
And they did their best, as we talked about, all the endorsements that were done by Trump and his minions couldn't have helped, I assume. But
Not New York City, man. Trump is hated there.
so the fire chief did resign. I guess he's going to move to Florida.
Good for him.
And good riddance. And fake news popped up about the New York police striking, but there was no place to find that. It's just not that earth-shattering that a social democrat won. I know they try to make it into this huge deal, but let's see what he does. Could it be any worse? I mean, Cuomo is just in the pocket of any corporation anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, just more of the same. So, maybe we're finally seeing a shift in the Democratic Party as far as like, the calcified old school people are starting to retire, and it's time for the Mondamis and the AOCs to step up because the message that they are putting out, it's not something to be afraid of. It's about, basic basic human rights, really. The fact that, you shouldn't have to go bankrupt because of illness. You should be able to have, affordable housing, childcare. I mean, all of these things that other countries, socialized countries have,
Sure.
and yet we're so afraid of it. Why should your health insurance be tied to your job?
And I don't know how afraid people are as much as they're kind of instructed to be afraid.
Well, yeah. It's
You're
conditioning.
you're conditioned. You're bombarded with this nonstop. I will put this up because it was announced today. Nancy, and you talked about people retiring, higher ups in the Democratic Party.
Mhm.
Nancy Pelosi, 85-year-old Nancy Pelosi. Maybe she could have done this sooner, but she is retiring. They asked Trump about that today. His comments were that it's a great thing. Okay, she was evil, corrupt, focused on bad things for our country. I can't name anything in particular, but really bad things. She was highly overrated. And the interesting part to me is that you had Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's becoming a centralist, apparently. She actually praised Pelosi. She said in her first term when she came in that Pelosi was good for Democrats, and she actually got things done. She kind of hoped that her party would be a little bit more like that. We've never sat here and praised Pelosi. I know Gene was never a huge fan, as well as yourself per se, but
Well,
we always gave her credit for procedurally able to get votes through. She knows the system. She's very well in tune with how government gets things done, and she did. She was able to get things done. It was impressive.
yeah, no, absolutely. I have a lot of praise for her. She did know how to get things done. She scared the shit out of Trump. He was terrified of her.
Yeah.
She was highly efficient, incredibly skilled. She knew what she was doing. She was very good at her job, and it's my main beef is her is that, she wasn't willing to embrace some of the progressive stances that needed to be taken. And I think that really kept the Democrats, kind of locked into that position, kind of calcified. And your message just wasn't reaching a lot of people, and doing the same things the way you did it, in the Clinton era. It just wasn't working.
Well, times change.
Times
And
change.
uh,
So it's time.
yeah, and she's 85. The only
Yeah.
thing Marjorie Taylor Greene said of the negative side was it might have been nice for her to retire a little bit sooner.
Mhm.
Make a mention to Trump because he's also ancient.
Oh my God, yeah.
Just to go back to Tuesday, because obviously the big story was about the New York mayoral race with Mamdani. But let's look at some of the other numbers. Of course, the Republicans had to write these off that these were blue states that were holding elections, but Virginia for governor, Democrat, New Jersey for governor, Democrat. Um, Looking at the smaller things, and this is a point that you always make, it starts at the school board, it starts at the local level. Philadelphia, their DA, the Democrat won 76%. The PA, that was Philly. The PA controller was a Democrat. He won with 86% of the vote. The Pennsylvania State Supreme Court, all three of the Supreme Court justices that were Democrats were up for re-election. They all won.
Yeah, that was big.
We could go on. In California, Prop 50 passed with 64%. Colorado also had a proposition. It was which was to raise taxes on the wealthy to pay for free public school lunches. That won by 60%. So I think there's some reason coming back into it. There's some of the gaslighting isn't taking effect on a lot of people. And again, with these smaller areas, it starts at home. These guys are taking care of their own backyard before we get on the state level onto the national level. So pretty impressive, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, very much so. I mean, it was pretty much a clean sweep.
But
And
again, Trump says I wasn't on the ticket. So don't look at me. And the ones that lost badly, he said he didn't endorse, of course, because it's all about him. Whereas the Republicans are like, hey, these were states and whatever, and rigged elections. I mean, just your usual stuff people are sick of.
I think in many ways it was a referendum on Trump. I think people are tired of this. I think they've seen enough since January to realize that this man is a menace, and his, minions marching in lockstep are just a nightmare. The things that we've seen, since January. I mean, who would have believed it if somebody had told you in November, hey, if you vote this way and he gets in, this is what's going to happen, X, Y, and Z. You're going to see armed masked people rounding people up in the streets of major cities. You're going to see your grocery bill go way up. You're going to see your utility bills go up. You're going to see just chaos. And you're going to have to listen to Trump day after day after day going on and on and on about whatever crosses his mind. He's going to tear down the East Wing of the White House for a ballroom. He's going to have a Great Gatsby themed party on the eve of people losing their SNAP benefits. Would you still vote for this clown? And I think now the people have seen it. They're like, yeah, no.
I don't know. You had people in Arkansas that tried to vote in the New York mayoral race.
Yeah. And again, they're all up on election fraud, but yet the only ones ever caught doing it are Republicans.
Generally, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we still haven't seen the Epstein files yet.
No, but the representative from Arizona now has a card table out in front of the speaker's office so that she can be noted in case he's ready to swear her in. She also took him to court. I think her lawsuit claims that anybody could swear her in. So let's get her in. Let's move on with this. We know that I guess I can't call him Prince Andrew. I don't know how to address him, but he was officially subpoenaed, however you want to look at it. He was asked nicely by Congress to come in and start talking. It's time.
Oh yeah. Well, and in in the UK, they stripped him of his title. They kicked him out of his royal housing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, at least there's some sanity left in the world.
Yeah, it's just not here. That's
Just
part
not
of the
here,
problem.
not yet anyway. I mean, listen, when we're actually agreeing with some things that Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying, maybe some things are changing. I don't know. It's a
Sure.
bit frightening.
Well, and there's slow leakage coming out because of these files that are very slowly coming out. The Republicans who have the control are starting to see some of the visual images, and it does include Trump, and it's very concerning to them. Again,
It should
we've
be.
said this for months. It's the only thing that is going to repair this country is to expose the pedophilia that went on with these men. It's not a Democrat Republican thing, but it is the only thing we can all agree on. So even when these
Hmm.
uh, blind mice Republicans actually start seeing this stuff, nobody's on board with it. Nobody wants to protect that. We just need those numbers to grow a bit. So
Well, yeah, the pressure needs to be kept up, and some of these Republicans need to actually start peeling themselves away from Trump. And maybe, Tuesday night's elections were maybe a little bit of an impetus to, injecting some courage into some of these spineless people.
yeah,
I guess,
and it's all across the aisle. There's red states that are just kind of fed up because they're really feeling the pinch as this guy's saying that everything's great. We're going to talk about some economic numbers, but I did want to start with Trump and his pharmaceutical deal today.
Trump
He
care.
he had Eli Lilly a deal to cap insulin, which this isn't new. Uh, it was kind of his way of saying, well, he came out and said Biden lied. Biden tried to take credit for this. Of course, since he's in the Oval Office with the executive from Eli Lilly, the Eli Lilly's guy saying that, hey, yeah, we did talk about this in your first term. Talking about it in his first term got nothing done. Biden's Inflation Reduction Act, which was passed in 2022. Keep that in mind that Trump was not president because it was Biden and it was 2022.
Mhm.
Part of that required pharmaceuticals to negotiate drug prices with Medicare. So Trump stood up today, beat his chest, lied about 1,000 things. Um, but
Just every day
at the
ending
end of
in
the
one.
day, this is what happened. The Novo Nordisk executive collapsed. If you get a chance to see the video, it's pretty entertaining, and I don't relish that this man had an incident, but RFK Jr. was out of there. I've never seen anybody. He looked right, he saw what was going on, and he was gone.
It
Um,
sounds like the video of Milli Vanilli. Remember, they got caught lip syncing when during one of their live performances. The
mhm.
track got stuck, and the one dude, I think his name was Rob, the German guy, just took off, ran off stage, just bailed, left the other guy standing there. Yeah, it sounds kind of like that.
So there is precedent. You can see in this photo that Trump, I mean, what is he doing? They got this guy's legs up. Everybody's concerned except for the guy that really doesn't know where he is and what's happening.
No, I know. Looks like somebody needs to pull his string again and get him going.
Now, let's not pretend that he didn't see it because clearly he saw it. But then the next picture just shows his reaction. What do you want from me?
Yeah, Trump doesn't care.
Yeah, very indifferent. This the GLP ones, your Ozempics, the weight loss thing was the big message today. That's why they had RFK Jr. there and Dr. Oz. These will be traded through the Trump RX website, which is it's a public website for prescriptions. You deal straight with the manufacturer. I mean, to me, it just seems so blatant that there's only one middle person, and that would
Hmm.
be Trump. We don't call it Trump RX unless Trump's getting a little something.
Yeah.
That's just how it works. Now, collectively, RFK Jr. said with this great weight loss drug that Americans in 1 year will lose 125 million pounds. Dr. Oz outdid him at 135 million pounds. And I guess the part that sticks to me is, you know, supermodels had a diet too. They took diuretics, they smoked, and they looked amazing. You
Hmm.
can do that and you can look amazing, but how healthy are you? I mean, these Dr. Oz is supposed to be, not only a doctor, but a professional in all these areas of dietary knowledge and
You
fitness,
see,
etc.
here's the interesting thing. Most physicians in med school receive very little training on nutrition and diet, very little. So a lot of times their guess is as good as yours. Um, and there's such a thing as being skinny fat. You can be thin and still be fat with, very low muscle volume.
Or visceral fat.
hmm which is also extremely unhealthy.
I
And
just don't.
and there's
Go
people
ahead.
that carry a lot of abdominal fat who also have a lot of muscle mass and are actually pretty healthy.
Yeah, I just don't appreciate that we're dumbing everything down. Um, Everybody's genetically disposed to something. You may have obesity that runs in your family. You may have alcoholism. I mean, there's things with everybody's family history. And just to think you can take this monthly shot, weekly shot, and I'm going to have the Ozempic body. Do I get more energy with that? Do I get to build muscle mass with that? Because from what I heard, it takes away from muscle mass. You're losing weight across the board.
hmm
As we age, one of the most important things is our muscle mass as you get older. If you want to be able to, walk around and do anything physical as you age. So,
Oh yeah. Well, and I have no problem with the drug. I think it's going to help a lot of people. And from what I understand, there's some other drugs that are going to be coming out that can also help with that and target different receptors. Um, but yeah, like you said, the main issue is just not just losing weight, but keeping on muscle mass. And part of the problem is that as people take that drug, it blocks the receptor that tells them they're hungry. So they basically just stop eating. That's how they lose the weight. They're not necessarily exercising. They're not necessarily, building muscle mass. They're just stopping eating, which it's not healthy. So, take the drug. It's going to help a lot of people, but you have to be aware that you still need to practice good nutrition. You still need to get your protein, and you've got to do some kind of resistance training and keep and build that muscle mass. Otherwise, you're still going to be unhealthy.
well, and some of it's common sense. I can't take this and then eat a box of or a bag of Oreos. Um,
But you don't want to. That's the
I just
thing.
don't. I get that, but I'm just saying I don't like the quick fix that this is the one thing I have to do. I mean, it should be across the board. You also need to get your nutrition through other things. I mean, we've
Mhm.
seen people on chemo that don't want to eat. Sugar's what they crave, and generally that feeds the cancer. So now you got
Yeah.
to give them, better dietary foods, and it just makes common sense to me. Like you have the food groups for a reason. You need certain things. You just can't chalk it up to, hey, I passed this, vote for me because you can now have Ozempic. If you need
Well,
it and you use it and it's good for you, great. But it's not the end all be all, and it can't be the answer to everything.
no, it's not. But it can be a really helpful tool for a lot of people, but it has to come with education. You have to, know how to safely take it and, the things that you need to do to actually boost it and make sure it works. And, just don't use it as a quick fix weight loss drug where you're just going to be even more unhealthy. Um, you know, Resistance training, especially for older women, is very important for bone density. So someone taking that who's just losing massive amounts of weight, not exercising, not doing any kind of resistance training, especially a woman of a certain age, going to have some real problems. Apparently, Shay agrees, so she knows. Um, Muted.
Shay's diet sucks. She'll eat anything off the table, so she's not a great example, but she will bark at anything. So that's
She
where the
will.
weight.
That's how she gets her exercise. And
I was gonna say that's
Shay,
where the weight loss comes.
Shay was always super athletic. That dog never had a problem with physical activity.
Amen.
A
Well,
fine specimen.
she is. I wanted to move on because clearly there's a disconnect, and I'm not trying to point out Trump's tiny hands here, but this is the Victory Arch, and he's really hell bent on this arch. $100 million is what it's probably going to cost. They had a small, a large, and a medium version. You can see these versions here. Of course, Trump wants the big one, as long as it's big, gold, and white, was his quote. He's already raised $1.9 billion for his war chest and all his construction projects that are I'm sure clearly above board because that's Trump. Why would it be deceitful? These will be statues that will include eagles and winged women, which sounds really amazing. Generally, you would need congressional approval to do this, but since he wants it done by 2026 of June, I believe, it'll be just like the East Wing. We won't. You won't have architects. You won't have builders. You'll just have him and whoever he's not paying to do the work.
Yeah,
So
unbelievable.
really kind of weird. He's already done the East Wing. He's paved over the Rose Garden, those towering flagpoles, which made Marine One nervous because of the space. And then let me put up the, it's just nonstop with him. More gold, more glitz. You mentioned it earlier. Is this the Holiday Inn? What am I doing here? Is this the business center? Oh, no, wait, it's the Oval Office. Thank God for the signage.
Yeah, this is pathetic. It's so cheesy.
It's just gross.
It really is.
56% of Americans disapprove of this. I think 28% support how he's trashing the White House. It is. I think your words are correct. Gross. Just gross.
Gross.
But he's kind of a gross individual. So
He is.
we'll see how that goes. Let me put up the big one because he is super proud of this. This is what the big one's going to look like. There's your winged woman and some eagles, of course, because
it's just so stupid. And it's so interesting that how it's another similarity he had to Hitler. Hitler was obsessed with rebuilding Berlin. He was going to build the largest domed structure in the world, in the history of the world. And he had architects to go out and to determine the feasibility of the ground to actually sustain this building. They had to sink this huge weight into it to see. And it turned out, nope, can't do it. This is not going to work. Millions of dollars, Reichsmarks, whatever, just pissed away on that. But he had this huge room with his model of the new Berlin. It was going to have the world's largest stadium. It's going to be fantastic, arches, broad streets, grand buildings. He loved showing off his little models of the new Berlin. Does that sound familiar?
looks very familiar and sounds familiar. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? In the long run, I guess the prophecy came true, not in the way he suspected, because Berlin did have to be rebuilt because under his regime, it was destroyed. So let's hope that history doesn't repeat itself there, that maybe we can, get rid of this Trump scourge in time before shit goes totally sideways.
Well, I feel like the one thing that's pushing us in that direction is going to be the economy. It's very difficult to hide what's going on. You can fool some of the people some of the time, obviously, but not all the people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're at that point right now because just some economic numbers. U.S.-based employees cut more than 150,000 jobs in October. It's the biggest reduction for a month, for 1 month in the last 20 years. Layoffs surged 175% from a year ago. Bash Biden all you want. Trump will sit there and say that gas is close to $2.
No, it's not.
You told me yesterday it was $2.79 where you got it. I paid $2.70, and I felt fairly fortunate. But he says the Republicans are the party of affordability. The Democrats are horrible at it. Energy prices down, but the Dems are the ones that are lying. I don't know. There's no connection to the two. But when you talk to Bessent, when you talk to Lutnick was on last night, just talking about how the economy is booming. The money that's coming in, the car manufacturer factories that are being built, all this money. We're not seeing it. We're not seeing the construction. We are seeing Boeing is building their own little area up by us, which is great, but that has nothing to do with us. Those are military contracts. It's a giant company. It's not filling my pockets at all.
No, it's not. Well, and Bassett and Lutnick, they couldn't tell you what the price of a gallon of milk is. They couldn't tell you how much it is for a pound of ground beef. They couldn't tell you any of these things. What
Trump
it
thinks
costs.
you need ID to go to the grocery store. Oh, you got to show ID there. Why wouldn't you have to do it when you're voting? You don't. And you're
Yeah.
right. All three of those guys don't go there. It's like the H.W. Bush moment where he didn't know how to scan a gallon of milk. I mean,
Hmm.
it's not your world. So, as
It's
they
not.
say, stay in your lane. But they keep pushing it to next year. Besant said 2026, it's coming. It's going to be the golden age, the affordability year. We're going to be filling all our pockets at that point. And
Uh-huh.
and it's
Yeah.
just not a thing. Commercial real estate delinquencies, 12%. It's the highest in our history. Private equity firms are buying up mobile home parks, and they're driving out the people that the residents that could least afford to pay. They're gone. Mobile homes. What are you guys doing, man? Uh,
Yeah.
we talk about this all the time. The median age to buy a house now, first time buyers, age 40. In 2021, that number was 33. And just in comparison, in 1981, that age was 29. So from 81 to 2021, the age increased 4 years. Since 2021, now we've added 7 years. And I'm telling you what, at 40, you're not conditioned to put up with buying a house with all the stuff that comes with it. Not only the taxes and the mortgage, but there's upkeep. You're always working on something, whether it's painting,
Oh, yeah.
repairing, whatever. By the time you're at 40, you really think you want to jump into that? I mean, we had some older neighbors in our neighborhood. Well, by the time they hit 50, they'd had enough. Send me to the condo. I don't want to cut grass. I don't want to do any of this stuff. I don't want to clean my gutters. So we're taking away that whole part of midlife where like you know, it's not for me, but like the picket fence and whatever, the American dream of like home ownership. It's just not a thing, and they seem to be okay with that, which I find really offensive as they're telling us how great things are.
Well, they don't care.
Um,
These are people that own multiple homes.
of course, yeah.
They don't care,
So
and they don't do any of the upkeep. They don't look at it. They don't do any of that. They have people that do all of that for them. They have people that open their mail.
yeah,
These are people that probably don't
that's
even carry cash.
that's when you said you've made it. So the U.S.
Mhm.
now has records for debt: 18.6 trillion in household debt, 13.1 trillion in mortgage debt, 1.7 trillion in auto loans, 1.7 trillion in student loans, and 1.2 trillion. Um, I can't even read my own writing, but I
I've
believe
seen your
it's
writing. I
for
believe it.
I believe it's for student loans. No, I did student loans at 1.7. I don't know what that is. Something. Nonetheless, drowning in debt. And what do you do when you are drowning in debt? Now you're indebted to somebody. And what comes with that? You have no leverage. You have no nothing. You're at
Hmm.
the will of in this case, kind of a madman. Uh, there was I watched a woman describing she net her and her husband net about $100,000 a year, which you would say, hey, they're doing pretty good, but they're unable to pay their bills and keep up every month. They're coming in at a deficit of about to $1,800 a month, which
Wow.
compounds month after month in that year. And her question is, they don't go out to eat. They go to Aldi's and Walmart for their shopping. They shop on a weekly basis because they're not filling the pantry. And her question was, how long will people tolerate this? How long will people go on until they start to push back? And I feel like that's coming sooner than later.
I think so too, because you reach a point where people just won't take it anymore, and they get tired of the lying, and that makes them even angrier.
The lying is
So
pretty awful.
it's really awful.
There was more of that today. These tariffs, which still passing through the Supreme Court, and it would be the laziest thing if they approved it, just because it would be such a hassle to give back any money that was wrongly taken. It's not faring well so far. Knock on wood. Trump will find a way to circumvent it if he can. But at the same time, he's saying these tariffs ended wars. Okay. Americans are gaining tremendous strength and national security because of them. I mean, 2 days ago, he talked about how without his tariffs, the world would be in a depression. I mean, it's
I mean,
delusional.
yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's unbelievable. It's just a word salad. It's a barrage of lies coming out of this guy's mouth every time he opens it. Every damn
Something new.
time. It's just he has no idea of what reality is. He's always been a liar, but now I
Yeah.
think he is literally a demented liar.
Yeah, I think he's really losing it. I'm not going to pick on anybody's looks, but he looks like garbage. He looks washed out. He looks like he's not engaged. Um, and I wish no ill will for anybody, but I will say that he doesn't look healthy. I feel like it kind of endangers all of us that he's the one that's making choices for us
Oh God, yeah.
when he's just not well. And this government shutdown that they won't fess up to. I'm going to put this up because this is the kind of stuff that strikes fear in all of us. That UPS crash.
Oh man, yeah.
You had 12 dead so far, including a child. I know there were at least 15 people that were missing. The path of that thing. I mean, we saw many different videos from truckers and people that happen to be on the road. I mean, it's just a nightmare. You see this thing going across the road. Um, in flames, and then this giant explosion. I mean, uh, horrific. And I'm not blaming anybody, but I am saying that when you stop investing in, maintenance, et cetera, I think they said this plane in particular, it's an MD-11, was grounded for over a month for critical fuel tank repairs. And that engine fell off.
Yeah.
Just fell off on takeoff. Like that's not something that's supposed to happen. The fact that that plane was 3 decades old, we fly on planes that are several decades old all the time. So it comes down to maintenance, not like the poultry industry, safeguarding us, which is their own business. We're supposed to be paying into this so that we have that kind of safety. Now we're cutting air traffic will be cut 10% at 40 airports starting tomorrow. It's going to be 4% at each airport. If you're smart, you're buying your tickets ahead of time. You've got plans, you've got reservations, you've got car rentals. What are you doing? Their advice is try and fly as early in the day as you can. So as they cancel you, you have a chance to still get on a flight. But
Yeah.
we talked about this $4 billion travel monies that weren't coming in because people aren't traveling. And those that are being put through the ringer because we have this shutdown. Well, Trump's got his own plane, and Melania's
Trump
got
doesn't care.
Marine One, so it doesn't really affect them.
Kristi
Even though
Noem's got two.
I'm sorry,
Kristi Noem's got 2 planes.
2 planes just in case. Yeah. Listen, we got secretaries living on military bases. Like none of it makes sense to me. But my point is, just because you're going to limit the air traffic doesn't take care of the problem. These air traffic controllers need to be paid. These government officials outside of the military, because I know they're going to try and take care of the military personnel, but the government has to open up. It's time. This is the
and all
longest
Republicans have
shutdown
to do
ever.
is give assurances that they're not going to massively cut, healthcare spending, that they're going to keep the, the subsidies that come along with the ACA so people can actually afford it. That's all they have to do. And they're refusing, and they're trying to pin it on the Democrats. And honestly, I applaud the Democrats for holding the line. Yeah, it's a lot of pain, but listen, Republicans own the White House, the Senate, and the House. This is on you fools.
Do you think that's why they came out with this whole, Ozempic and pharmaceutical drugs, because the healthcare thing's beyond them?
Oh yeah, dude, they don't know anything about healthcare. Oh, we've got a concept of a plan. You don't have shit. You don't even have a concept of a concept. How long have you had to come up with something? And you don't even have to start from scratch. Just look at what works successfully in other countries. Oh, well, we can't afford that. And let's not forget, as Gene pointed out, that the root of this came because they didn't want Black people to have equal access to healthcare.
Good point.
Like so many things in American life, it's rooted in racism.
Surprise.
Yeah. So yeah, their arguments they hold no water. It's just more lies, more bullshit, and just indifference. They don't care.
Well,
They've got theirs.
the healthcare industry is a huge part of our economy, from subsidies on down, and they go after the Affordable Care Act because it's their way of thumbing, Barack Hussein Obama, which it's 3 words that Trump can remember apparently because he thinks it's offensive.
Yeah.
It's just kind of stupid. And that's a problem that needs to be taken care of. And again, when this was passed, everybody knew that it wasn't perfect, but it did give everybody health care, and it did allow for existing conditions, et cetera, which was all important because they're going to drop you. They're death panels. How many times do we have to talk about that? So this needs to come to the forefront, not only for air safety and for the health and wellness of our citizenry, but it's time. And I think we all know why they don't want the government open, and they're willing to go to January if they can. I don't think the Republican constituents are going to allow that, but they're willing to, based on the fact of the Epstein files.
Yeah, and this is the Trump shutdown. This is the Republican shutdown. They can try and shift it on to the Democrats, but it's just not going to work.
What, all those organized signs with those handles that all say Democratic shutdown? Somebody's got to be behind that. Soros. So stupid. Meanwhile, we have so much going on, but you have your head of the FBI, his girlfriend filing a lawsuit, right? $5 million lawsuit because somebody implied that she worked for the Israeli intelligence agency and kind of had Cash's ear to be doing the things that Israel wants, and she was extremely offended. So apparently $5 million will fix her upsettedness. The bottom line for her was, you're questioning my love here, Cash. 45-year-old Cash and his 27-year-old country and Western singer. The fact of the matter is, you flew her out to UFC fights in Vegas. You flew her back for her gig in Nashville, and we're paying for it. Now, when Cash was on podcasts ranting and raving about the past FBI director, those were one of the things he was pissed about, flying around on our dime. But now it's okay for Cash because he's the big dog, right?
Well, and the statement he put out was just ridiculous, talking about how patriotic she was and what a great American, and she loves her country, and I'm paying for that flight. I'm reimbursed. Like, dude, just stop. I mean, you only came to their attention because you wrote these crappy, weird books praising King Trump. You were the most suckiest of the suck ups. Literally. That's how you got this job. You're not qualified for shit.
DEI hire, for sure.
Total DEI hire. And I mean, completely unqualified, just a sycophant. He would do anything Trump told him to do. He would, eat the shit right out of Trump's saggy ass. I know it's a disgusting image, but he would do it and ask for more. This guy is he's just a fucking clown. Pardon my language, but he really is.
Yeah, he again, it puts our nation at risk when you have the FBI taking the time to make these personal accusations. We do know that the assistant director of the FBI was fired because he pointed that out. I don't know. You can't run from the truth forever is kind of my hope, because we're kind of up against it. Trump again lying about how great the financials are, how amazing things are going, and people can't send that to the electric company as payment.
Yeah, they're not going to take that.
No. So it's been a lot. Again, I feel like Tuesday gives us maybe a little bit of momentum for people waking up, for people maybe looking back at the status quo and being like, hey, that wasn't so bad. This radical agenda of enriching billionaires and the guy in the White House only isn't helping all of us. It didn't help me to keep my job. I lost my health care. Where do I go next? So desperation.
Hell, according to Trump and the GOP, we don't care where you go.
Yeah, pretty much. But they're the party of affordability, and Mike Johnson's going to continue to lie. So it's pretty easy to tune that stuff out, and it's kind of nice to see when it comes to a localized level. I saw some a yard, and I'd seen this in Maplewood as well, where people on their front porch put out their own food bank, so to speak. It was all kinds of supplies: paper towels, toilet papers, Kleenex, cleaning products, food, dry goods and stuff. Because with SNAP, 42 million people. They are funding it more than they wanted to, Trump begrudgingly, because it was court ordered. Like the court order where ICE was told they can't be physical and lay hands on people. I don't know how far that'll go. But at least it's lawfully on the record that they need to be doing these things.
Yeah, so they're going to fund it. They were going to fund it at half. And then they said, oh, wait a minute, that was an accounting error. We're going to give you 2/3. It's still, even at 100%, it's still not very much money. Would you say it was $11 a day?
Yeah.
So you're going to get 2/3 of $11 a day. Thanks, Trumpy Bear.
Yeah, $8.75 or something.
Because you're pissing away how much on your Gatsby themed party?
A lot. And this cheap signage that he's buying on eBay. I mean, that's not free. So I don't know if he could come up with the perfect gold paint, as he likes to say, he'd be a rich man.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm already a rich grifter.
It's true. I was going to point out too, the whole AI thing, which, he was big on his Bitcoin and whatever else, his meme coins. But the person that predicted the crash in '06, I think, he's doubling down and he's shorting all the AI stocks. So we'll see. It seems like it could be a very big bubble. We've seen this before with the .coms, et cetera. It's nothing new, but it is a little scary, the amounts of money we're talking about that are going into this that could, again, have gone into roads and infrastructure, something that was paid for. And I do want to point out that when Trump says that Biden tried to take credit for this insulin and the negotiating that had to be done by the pharmaceuticals, that it's interesting that Trump says it because there were signages all over like Pennsylvania that we saw that had like the Biden infrastructure plan. This is what we're working on. This is the project. And then they just slapped Trump on there.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, okay. You don't want to give credit, but you also take the credit that you don't deserve.
Oh, yeah.
Always interesting.
Oh, God, yeah. And it's just so predictable.
Very much so. And I think people are getting tired of that too. It's kind of trite. And again, when you have that much time to sit around and worry about your finances or where you're going to get your next meal or how you're going to cover any kind of health issues, I think listening to that repetitive nonsense probably gets irritating. I know I'm irritated all the time.
Oh, my God, yeah. I just wish he'd shut up.
Just less exposure might be a great start. I don't know if you have a happy ending. I did want to throw one out there, which was the sandwich guy was acquitted on all accounts.
Yeah.
He's not even going to have to pay the dry cleaning for the mustard stain.
Very nice.
So I thought that was pretty awesome. I will say it was a giant waste of time. It was a waste of time for the judge, waste of time for the people that had to go into court and do this. And it was all a show that started at the beginning when the gentleman was willing to turn himself in. Instead, they decided they were going to raid his house at 6 a.m. and rip him out of there with a dozen men.
Oh, they're such assholes, such fake tough guys. It's disgusting. Although, so on a happier note, I did see that some of the New York City billionaires actually congratulated the new mayor, said they would be willing to work with him. I think Jamie Dimon and Bill Ackerman.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
They're not all leaving. It's a silly
not going anywhere. Where are they going?
To make Florida.
Multiple homes. How much time do they actually spend in New York City anyway?
Good point. And DeSantis talked about putting tariffs on anybody that's coming down from New York to Florida. Okay. Tariffs, baby.
Yeah. The dangling appendage of America, Florida. Welcome.
You're welcome. So lastly, on the happy ending, and we'll see the Penguins play Washington tonight. Crosby and Ovechkin have been doing this a long time. Ovechkin last night in St. Louis got his 900th goal, which is...
See where Bennington hid the puck in his pants?
Yeah, he didn't think they would notice.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally had to skate over and ask him, and he had to take it out of his pants.
Yeah. Oh, here you go.
That was one of the only pucks he stopped last night, sadly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was hoping the Penguins would have the young Russian goaltender in net tonight, but they're not. They're going with the rotation. So for a team that's struggling a bit with attendance, it's kind of a head scratcher that you wouldn't put this guy out there. Not to mention, I thought the game was on TNT, but I heard that it's on a streaming service now, which again is a little bit disappointing. I'm gonna have to dig a little bit deeper on that. But anytime you can watch Crosby and Ovechkin go at it. There's such mutual respect there. I do think that the main reason that Ovechkin won a Stanley Cup is because after watching Sid for a decade play a 200-foot game, that season that they won, the Capitals, taking nothing away from them, but Ovechkin was a different player. He played in all areas of the ice, and it made a difference. So
yeah, it did.
I'm not rooting for them, obviously. I'd love to see the Pens win tonight. They need to get off the schneid here, but we'll see. Also, Ben Kendall is going to be on Crosby's line tonight due to injuries. He'll be moved up to the number 1 line. So I think it'll be interesting to see the kid play with the Sid the Kid.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. I'm excited to see how that goes.
Yeah, me too.
I'm surprised they're having it.
I'm sorry?
I'm surprised they're having attendance issues. I mean, they had that long sellout streak.
Well, part of it is this was supposed to be a rebuild year. Ticket prices went up, obviously.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
And I think people wanted to kind of wait and see. I don't think they thought they'd get off to this great start. But tonight, they have some games coming up. I noticed that are days of weekend days that'll get good attendance. They always play the night before Thanksgiving. That's always well attended. So,
oh yeah,
I don't think they're that worried about it. It's just weird that with all the excitement that maybe you would have let the kids start tonight in that. People would have liked to have seen that. But hey, if it's not on TNT, I won't be seeing it anyway. So
that's true.
But
but I wonder though. I mean, you can probably go and head down right before the game and pick up a ticket for a good price from a scalper. I would imagine.
Perhaps, and people may do that. It's interesting you'd say that because Cole had mentioned that the Blues, you can get into the Blues game after the first period for $7.
Well, we had a buddy last night who was offering up a couple of Blues tickets for a Friday night game, and he couldn't give them away, literally.
Yeah, not yet. It's the Jim Leland joke where he had put 2 tickets on his dashboard and somebody broke into his car and left 2 more. So, yeah, I just thought it was interesting because people could go downtown in St. Louis and pre-party, go to the bar, watch the first period, and then wander over where the beer's more expensive and buy a $7 ticket. Kind of cool. So
that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, and to that point, Kyrou will be sitting their next game. He's been benched for a game by Montgomery. So highest paid player on the Blues team. They're kind of struggling, and they're going to sit him as a message. So we'll see how that
That's
resonates.
a guy that he never seems to have matured fully.
He was off to a pretty good start. I thought his he finished last year pretty strong on the defensive side of the puck too. So I don't know. It's tough when you're struggling. Everybody's struggling, and it's not one guy. So to make an example out of him, hopefully he'll respond to it. But you never know.
You never know. I guess we'll find out though. We'll see.
Yeah. You keep watching, buddy. Well, I'm going to let you go. It's Friday and a Thursday, so maybe I'll catch up with you later.
Sounds good.
All right. And again, I will not be seeing you on Saturday, but I'll check in with you on Tuesday.
All right.
I won't even say it, buddy, but I will see you.
Yeah.
Reimagined.
All right. Well, I will let you go, but I appreciate your time as always, and I'll catch up with you later. All right. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
All right. See ya.